He's Rich Eisen from the NFL Network, Rich Eisen Podcasts, Sam Bradford, Chrissy Teigen, Hank Azaria. He's the host of NFL Game Day Morning, the Rich Eisen Podcast on the NFL Network, and he joins us now. Richie Rich, how are you?
How are you, Dan?
Where are you?
I'm on a speakerphone. How are you?
You're on the Larry Fitzgerald speakerphone?
Yeah. Oh, hold on a minute. I'm sorry. I thought that's the way you like doing it.
No, I do not. I do not.
No?
No. Did you ever, when you call into a boss, let's say at the mothership, you get on speakerphone, right? They put you on speakerphone. Some of them would.
You know, who did that? Who speakerphoned you at the mothership?
2149.
2149.
Yeah.
Well, I think he likes being hands-free, Dan.
Yeah, but doesn't it bother you?
Oh, that's a big pet peeve of mine.
Yeah.
Huge. Thomas Dimitroff, general manager, Atlanta Falcons, he speakerphoned me on the podcast.
How'd that go over?
He speakerphoned me on the pod. Well, I told him afterwards, I'm like, you know, do you have to have somebody listening in? Do you not trust me to ask the proper questions? I mean, so he never speakerphoned me again. And he's been kind enough to call in many times and lift the receiver.
That's nice.
You know.
That's nice.
So Larry Fitzgerald speakerphoned you.
Yeah, and I said,
what was up with that?
I don't think it was his fault. He was doing something for EAS, and he had people from the company there, and so they probably wanted to make sure what he was saying.
Nervous
what I was asking.
handlers.
Yeah.
Nervous handlers.
Yeah.
You're not to be trusted, is what that means.
Maybe they were concerned. I would ask tough questions. Or
when
something.
you get speakerphoned by somebody who calls in,
yeah,
that means somebody part of the team doesn't trust you.
Yeah, all right.
And I'm just glad that we got through this whole thing.
Is that the reason why A-Rod didn't call into my radio show?
Did he call in Stephen A.'s? Is that who he called?
No, Mike Francesa on WFAN in New York.
A-Rod did, or his doctor did?
A-Rod did, and his doctor did.
Oh, really?
But not the doctor who's treating him, a doctor who got his I mean, Rich, you can't make up this story.
No, I know.
It's incredible.
I read Tim Brown's piece on Yahoo,
yeah.
and he had the best line saying that A-Rod found the baseball streaker of doctors. Where the guy just went on.
Yeah.
He just went on a sort of a streak of interviews and said he did it for fun.
Yeah,
he thought it would be fun to do.
Oh, sure, Lord. He wasn't paid, right?
Yeah. Never.
What did you think of Belichick yesterday?
I thought it was good. I thought it was good because I was a little nervous that we would get the Belichick we saw at the Tebow press conference. Just like 2% of me was nervous for that, because I have met Belichick away from cameras, and anybody who's met him away from cameras knows that he's got a real deep human emotional side of him, and I think he showed some of it yesterday. And you knew you weren't going to get the introspective Bill. But to get the guy who said what he said was, I thought, very appropriate. And at some point, I think somebody in the media who he truly trusts, who sits him down one-on-one, might get a little more in the future. But right now, it really doesn't serve Bill Belichick to sit there and get introspective of what he knew from Florida about Aaron Hernandez's background, because for various reasons. One, it doesn't help the football team, which is what he's all about right now. And two, it just doesn't compute in anybody's book, in my mind, that regardless of what he did in Florida, how can that translate to getting and seeing a red flag for a possible murder suspect? And for Belichick to get into that at the very outset of training camp in a large mass media gathering, it just doesn't make sense for Belichick to engage in that sort of thing, and would be completely out of character for him to do it.
Yeah, and the red flag stuff, whatever happened in Florida, I don't care what the red flags were in Florida, you didn't think somebody was capable of murder.
You can't connect those dots,
no.
Dan.
Now, I can question if Aqib Talib gets in trouble again, or Merriweather, or they got a couple other guys on the roster.
Yeah, Dennard.
Yeah, then I can say, don't tell me you were duped here. With Hernandez, you may have been duped that somebody was capable of doing these kind of crimes. These other guys, if they're popped for, gun or, whatever it might be, I don't think they can plead ignorance on these
Right.
guys.
I agree with you on that front. So that's what I thought of Belichick yesterday, and now it'll just move forward to him dodging Tebow questions.
Okay. Is it fair? Peter King talked to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And Brady didn't really. Peter asked about, what was your reaction when you heard Aaron Hernandez got arrested? And then he offered up something about what's the offense going to be like. So, Brady sort of dodged a little bit, and then he said, well, I'm moving on. Is it fair for us to ask Brady, what was your reaction when Aaron Hernandez came out of his house in handcuffs?
Sure.
Okay.
I think so.
Well, I think Peter should have pressed him a little bit more because that's the answer I want. I'm not worried about his offense right now in July. I'm curious about you're seeing your teammate, and maybe he gives you an honest answer and said, I'm not surprised. Or, you know what? I figured one day I'd see him in police custody or something.
Yeah, but you're never going to get that answer.
I know.
Tom,
I know.
He's on point because and that's again one of the many reasons why I'm not concerned about New England. He and Belichick are on the same page. I mean, it's very rare in their entire decade plus history that
Wait,
the two of them
what do you mean you're not concerned about that once they get on the field?
Correct.
Well, I'm worried about their tight ends without Gronkowski and Hernandez.
I don't know. I mean, let's see how Jake Ballard actually comes back. I know he's not of Aaron Hernandez's caliber in terms of being all over the field, but Jake Ballard was a Super Bowl tight end for the Giants, and he's coming off of knee surgery. And how many times have you seen the New England Patriots just move forward with a bunch of guys that you wouldn't expect to fare very well, and I just need to see it first, them struggle. I just don't think that's going to happen. I honestly don't. And Brady is, you're not going to get that sort of introspective response from him either. It does not serve New England right now other than to say this was horrible and we don't condone it, we don't accept it, and offer condolences to the family of Odin Lloyd. Other than that, for New England right now, which has to get ready for a football season, one in which everyone expects them to win a division, it just does not serve them to give this story more news cycles. It just doesn't.
Rich Eisen from the NFL Network joining us for the Dan Patrick Show. Best team right now, NFC, is who?
San Francisco.
Best team, AFC right now is?
I still have to go Denver. I think Manning being him, being Peyton, coming back, what one must expect a year physically stronger, with his entire career succeeding with wide receivers like Stokely, Blair White, Colley, who are the poor man's Wes Welker, now having the actual genuine article with the rest of that wide receiving core and a deep running back core in my mind. I'd have to go Denver.
Well, they got my rookie of the year in the
backfield.
backfield. Monty Ball.
Oh, that's your rookie of the year?
Yeah, I'm calling it.
I don't know.
Well, who do you have?
I don't know because they've got a lot of running backs there. I mean, Ronnie Hillman might get the rock quite a bit over there.
The Rock. Listen
to
you.
Yes.
I like.
Yeah, I'm just getting ready for the season.
I know you are. I know you
that
are.
was sort of my training camp right there. Dropping those lines.
What's your most embarrassing moment you've had at the NFL Network?
Oh gosh.
No, let me. I'll tell you mine at NBC, just so you don't think I'm picking on you.
No, I don't, Dan. I always assume you're picking on me, so don't worry about that.
Oh, by the way,
yes.
So the Taylor Mattingly,
yes,
for your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got to get a hold of Don Mattingly.
Well, I've already told him. I see you're letting a couple of things out of the bag.
Wait,
but no, we have the girl's not born yet, Dan. So
I'm a journalist. I had to break news.
I know you're breaking news.
I break news before she breaks water.
In a few weeks, I can confirm, but right now I can't deny.
Okay, or confirm.
But yes, in terms of my embarrassing moment.
Yeah.
Oh man, there's been a couple of times when I've sprayed it while saying it, and it's obvious in high definition that spittle has come out.
Yeah, but
I've
had snot.
Cower like that. I've never had anything that bad.
Yeah.
It could be also Junior Seau calling me Rick audibly, no question.
Yeah.
And the rest of the crew has enjoyed calling me Rick for almost a decade now. That's happened.
Oh, well, I had the guy when I went to a baby shower. who said I was his favorite sportscaster. And he said, oh, man, we got to get a picture, man. My friend's going to freak when I say, I'm getting a picture here with Matt Patrick.
Matt Patrick.
I also, you know what, our earpiece, where our producer director talks to us on the set, I didn't have mine. Mine came unhooked.
Yes.
And I'm at Giant Stadium on the night the Jets play the Patriots for the butt fumble.
Yes.
So we're at halftime. And I'm sitting there with Rodney and Tony, and I'm not getting any cues. I don't hear anything from anybody. And I thought, okay, well, they must be busy. Next thing I know, I'm just sort of sitting there, and I'm looking at my floor director, who is, it looked like he was trying to land 7 planes at the same time. He's pointing at the camera. And I thought, man, Chris is funny. And then Tony's looking at me like, we're on.
Oh.
And it was like 7 seconds, and I just started talking to him. I can't hear anybody.
Oh, boy.
And then I just went, and I said, we'll be back after this. Bob Costas will join us.
Couldn't be more out-of-body experience when that happens, right?
Well, it feels like it's
you're
30
untethered
seconds.
from the rest of Earth.
Yeah.
At that point in time.
Yeah.
So now, what? This was halftime? Is that what?
Oh,
it was?
yeah.
Oh, most of America was tuned out by that point. Anyway.
You think after the butt fumble?
Don't worry. You might have had half of America at that point, as opposed to all of America.
So, are you disappointed that the Royals had their baby before your wife had the baby?
Well, Kate and I were talking about it.
Katie.
Yeah. Katie and I were talking about it. Them being the Royals that they are, they just went ahead and did their own baby planning. Right now, Susan and I aren't talking to them. You sort of hit a nerve. But if they're out there listening, good luck to them, really. My favorite part about this whole story is how all the mainstream media starts doing reports on what it's like being new parents. Using this as the ability to talk about what is it like to be new parents to baby, and talking about sleep deprivation as if they've put the bassinet in their room. There's no royal baby nurse in Buckingham Palace. But I did like that they were normal. Like he came out, it was the first royal use of the snap and go, where he went out, took his kid out there and snapped him in and drove off himself.
I like that.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was good. It was a good job. Good job at it.
Nice job, Rich. Nice job.
That's what we say in the sports business. Good job out of Prince William.
Good job. Hey, good to talk to you.
Same to you, DP.
And give my best to your wife.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's Rich Eisen, NFL Network. Oops. Maybe I wasn't supposed to mention the baby's name. You know what? When we go to dinner and I have a couple of drinks, sometimes I don't know what's on the record and off the record. Yeah, I blame that on Rich. He shouldn't have told me.